Hey, hey, man, we just wasted my audio gold on my lack of desire to be part of a show called Touch 'Em All. Oh well. Oh yeah, yeah. What can you do? Pittsburgh boy says no sound.
Yep, didn't turn on my microphone either. What's going on, everyone? Well, oh my God, this is a bad day. What's
Holy
going on, everybody?
fuck!
Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. And let's see how I have fucked this up already. We went live on the wrong stream. Then we corrected that, went live on the correct stream. And now I started the show without a goddamn sound, audio. So this is bad. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave.
It's not even like it's morning where you are.
I have no idea. I can't. There's no good excuse as to why this is happening. None. I got no good reason as to why. But it's happened, and we're dealing with it, and we're here, and we're having a good time. So stick with it. It can only go up from here. No idea why this fucking happened today. But we're going to make up for it. Because if you want NFL talk, like no bullshit, just good old-fashioned guy talk, you came to the right place. We're going to have a good time. I'm here with Jim. I'm really, really sorry for how horrible I am.
Whatever. What can you do? We weren't even here last week, so we're ahead of the game from last week.
I guess it is.
And we're not on a show called Touch 'Em All either. So
that's very true. I was worried about when I created the name of that show that we'd have just nothing but NAMBLA followers, but luckily that hasn't happened yet. Oh my God, I really hate me right now.
Copious amounts of self-doubt.
You know
Let's
what
go.
it is?
Let's do it. What?
I'm on a high from the Cubs winning last night. I'm just absolutely excited about it. Or maybe it's because I'm not wearing my Bears helmet. Maybe that's why. I don't know
that should only help.
It should, at least, that's what the doctors say. Helmet everywhere and should help, but I don't know. So yeah, hell of a start. Hell of a start. But we're going to get this ship on the correct path because that's what we do here, man. So like I asked you.
Yeah, we'll do better in the second half, much like Mr. Gurley.
Exactly. And that's a really good place to start because that's exactly what I wanted to ask you about Todd Gurley, who had a breakout game last week. It was really his only action that he was gotten into that was impressive at all since he's debuted, which is, to his credit, has only been a couple of weeks. But everybody is already freaking out about him. He's one of the most hotly grabbed guy if he was even available in leagues, which he wasn't available in a lot of leagues anyway, but people were, selling high on him and all kinds of stuff. So the question I have to you, not only from a fantasy standpoint, but from an actual NFL real life standpoint, is Todd Gurley for real? And what can we expect from this week?
Well, yeah, Todd Gurley's for real. From a fantasy perspective, even from a live real football perspective, I wouldn't go crazy. I mean, he is still a rookie coming off injuries. He has to get used to the speed of the game. And, let's remember that he had a great half of football.
Yes.
Like a great half of football, which showed what he can be. But he's not going to be that every week just yet. That being said, I'm one of these clowns that play in the daily fantasy games as well, just because I can't spend enough of my money on this goddamn game. And a little pro tip for everybody: if you play Yahoo Daily Fantasy, Gurley is the minimum priced running back, meaning he's $10. He's a $10 running back. So I have him in all my tournament and cash game lineups in there. I can't get Bango. Bango loves him. He says his next AP. I don't know if I see that yet, but it's possible.
It's possible.
Bango loves him and has him across every fantasy league that we're in together, year-long fantasy league. So I can get a taste there. But he's legit. I mean, he did a lot of damage against a pretty good defense. Arizona's a pretty good defense there.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think we would have even picked St. Louis to win that game. So
no, I know I picked Arizona last week.
So yeah, Gurley's legit. There's no doubt. I don't know that he'll do that every week yet. Like you come to expect AP and towards the end of year one with AP, and then the years after that, you expected it every week regardless of opponent. I think it might take a little bit to get there, but he might be one of the top 6 at the end of the year. It's possible,
he's got
especially
an
with the way
interesting matchup today. He's got a really interesting defense that he's running against with Green Bay. I'm not exactly sure what to expect. I know a lot of people are anticipating a big game out of him because Green Bay can be flighty against the run like they were against Chicago. I don't know what Gurley's going to do. It's going to be interesting. We'll break that game down a little bit more early, but I'm kind of with you. I like Todd Gurley a lot. I like the way he runs. He runs angry, and I like that. If he's healthy, he could be a top 5 running back. I think that's fair.
Especially this year where everybody's injured.
I think it's still really early to anoint him the next AP, but that's Bango. So, and that's completely.
I don't know. I mean, he looks good. He's got the pedigree. He was huge in college, and but then again, he's a rookie still, and he was injured for quite a while, and we'll see. But he's really, really good. I think. I'm playing him.
My recommendation is for him, at least as fantasy goes, if you have him and someone's offering up the absolute moon for him, take it. Take it. If you're getting a hell of a deal for him, it's just my outset of fantasy. If it's a rookie that's coming off an injury, which is not all that uncommon, believe it or not, when something like this happens, especially when you're only having a half of a game as your sample size, if someone's offering up ridiculous amounts of greatness for him, take it. Take it. That's just me, though.
Yeah, there was something like one drive with 53 yards, 25 yards, and 15 or 13 yards, like 3 big chunks. And you add that together, that makes up a big chunk of the 146 or whatever he ended up with. So, but I mean, those count. Those drives count. They count for every running back. So that's good, but it's a small sample size. Yeah. I think he's great, but I can see why others would still be, wait and see. I wouldn't trade Gurley. I agree with Bango.
Oh, you wouldn't trade him for any price?
No, in this running back landscape, it's an absolute debacle out there without every down running backs, and I think Gurley has the potential to be an every down running back. I wouldn't trade him.
Interesting. Real quick before we move on to the next thing that we're talking about, story most people would call them, but I'm not articulate. I want to give a quick shout out to the newest team member here on Dead on Day Productions. That is the Copious graphics guru. His name is Sal, and he will absolutely cut you. No, he is an amazing graphic designer. He's done all the new graphics, this one that you're seeing right here, and everything else that you've seen up to this point the last few days. He's doing an amazing job, and I can't say enough about it. It really does raise the entire level of the channel. So thank you, Sal. You're absolutely amazing. So thank you very much there. If you want to get your opinions heard a little bit later on the show, I'll let you know when you want to get your opinions heard on This Week in the NFL. You could do so in one of 2 ways if you want to call in. You can call in on Skype at David Vancura, DavidVancura, or just call in 702-751-2902. So go ahead and give us a call and let us know what you think about what's going on this week in the NFL. Also, make sure that if you're in the chat, hit the like button, man, because likes are free. You could also go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you're so inclined, you like what we do on the channel, you can see the upgrades that we're making with the phone number and the graphics. Those can continue, and it's all supported by you guys, man. So thank you very much for all the donations. If you want to continue to support the channel, do so right in the description box of this video. Give your favorite fat man a tip. You tip your barista, you could tip the fat man. There we go. Got that out of the way. Well, Jim, it's about time, man. It's been a while since we've talked about Terrell Owens. So,
okay.
This was coming. We knew this was coming. and now it has arrived. Terrell
Why are we talking
Owens.
about
What's that?
Why are we talking about him?
Well, real simple. He had an interview the other day where he made some pretty bold statements. This is not surprising because it's Terrell Owens, but at age 41, he feels he can play in the NFL right this second. And not only play in the NFL, but outdo most teams' top receiver. He goes back to the last time he was playing in the NFL, which was like 2010. His last two teams, Buffalo and Cincinnati, where he outdid their top receivers by a good amount. And all this is factually true, but it was 5 years ago.
Wait, he outdid Chad Johnson?
He did. He actually had a better statistical season than Chad Johnson and Lee Evans the year previous in Buffalo.
Like a Lee Evans.
Yeah.
Flash
Exactly. Who? Lee Evans.
Buffalo, yeah.
And he was never heard from again. So,
yeah, well, what circumstances did he end up leaving? Did he just want too much money, or did he didn't kill anybody? What did he do?
It wasn't money. I think he got hurt at the end of his last season, and then he went back, got in amazing shape again because that dude, that's what he does. He gets in an amazing condition, and he simply just didn't get any invites. He just didn't get no job offers.
Well, there must be a reason.
Well, yeah, because he was 37.
He's a big mouth.
Yeah,
pain in the ass.
he's a cancer. Yeah, there's 37, cancer, those type of things will keep the phone from ringing. No question about that.
I don't know. I'd never say never. Andre Johnson scored 2 touchdowns this fucking week. We'll get to that. Killing me, but maybe on some teams he could outdo the top receiver, like Baltimore.
At 41, are you making that phone call?
Baltimore, maybe. I mean, their top receiver is Kamar Aiken. So
he actually made an even more interesting statement, too. He said not only could he dominate and do well in the NFL right now, he thinks Jerry Rice can do the same at this very moment.
Depends how much Stickham's on his gloves.
That does depend on how much Stickham. Oh, with those new gloves nowadays, they're better than Stickham.
All right, so Aaron Rodgers or Tom Brady's your quarterback. Excuse me. Let's say Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Would you rather have right now at current age Jerry Rice, Terrell Owens, or Randy Moss?
Randy Moss.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because speed doesn't always die. Remember Lynn Swann playing at like 44 years old, still running like a fucking 4.1. Speed's the last thing to die sometimes with some of these guys, depending on how they're on how they take care of their bodies. And height never goes away. Randy Moss is still 6'4", 6'5", and it'd be Randy Moss for me.
Yeah, I probably agree. Although I haven't seen Terrell Owens do shit, so who knows?
Well, T.O.'s a pain in the ass. Randy Moss is kind of a pain in the ass, but he's not nearly as big of a pain in the ass as T.O. And Jerry Rice would just be a circus because he's like 100. So,
but he can dance.
that he can. It's so.
Did Terrell Owens dance? Did Terrell Owens do the Dancing with the Stars thing?
Yeah, I don't think he made it very far.
I don't even know if he did. I seem to recall he did, but I could be wrong. I don't watch it.
I can't remember. I don't watch it either. I wish I watched.
Yeah. It's just he's just trying to make news. He's a blowhard. What can I say? Whatever.
Yeah, he
I
always
don't think
has something to say.
Today's NFL, I think there's a lot of good receivers, like a lot. I don't think it's really a shortage of good receivers this day and age. And running backs, and I think there's a severe shortage of good coaches for some reason and above average quarterbacks. But receivers are real good, I think.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. Moving on from that, it looks like we're having an issue with the stream quality.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it looks like
I have it muted. It looks good to me.
No, I guess we're okay. I just got a little message that we were starting to have issues with the stream quality, but it looks like we're all right. So the last thing I want to talk about before we get into the games is we're entering week 5 of the experiment that has been, well, not experimented, it's a thing now, moving the extra point back and now making it a more challenging kick. And we've seen some things happen. This has been a weird year for kickers. We've seen blocks. We've seen flat out misses. So the question is, what's the verdict right now in your eyes, man? Has this worked? Has this been a debacle? Has this changed the value of kickers in your eyes at all?
I like it. I'll just start there. That I like the idea. I like how it's going. I will point out that I think the success rate on extra points is still like 94 and 95%. So I think it has the desired result. It took a few away, and it forced a few more 2-point conversions, which I wish there were more, but a lot of these NFL coaches only go by a book and are sackless.
Yeah, not everybody's Chip Kelly.
Chip Kelly's not even. Who is it?
He gives zero amount of fucks, though, most of the time.
Really, Pittsburgh was the most promising one. They decided looked like. I mean, of course they had Scooby, but it looked like they were going to go for 2 every time while Ben was there. So that was fun.
It's been weird. Seeing the blocks and stuff. I think we've seen a couple of blocks this year. I know Robbie Gould got blocked, and he never misses kicks. So seeing him miss it all, I think it is having its desired effect. The way it was before was such a joke. It was a gimme. It was a time waste. Now it feels like there's a little bit more on there, and I think it does help the value of kickers for like their financial contracts and stuff like that. So I think it's been a good thing.
Yeah, there'll be a little more attention paid to it. Like some of them just have these bottom of the pile, shitbag kickers, like recycled trash, like, Scobie, for example. And maybe they'll pay a little more attention to that, and maybe a few more out of college and whatnot. But I mean, it's a kicker. I don't care too much, but I like the change. I'd like to see more 2-point conversions. I think it's a little more exciting and a little more fun, but I like it.
I think it's a progressive thing in the NFL. I think it's something we need a little bit more of in certain aspects. Some traditions that don't really need to be around. It just makes me hunger for the next thing. What's the next outdated concept that they're going to target and hopefully change for the better? Lord knows they've changed many things that have affected the way the game is played in a negative light. Now, granted, it has added benefits with safety and health and all that stuff, which is great. But I'm waiting for the thing that really does affect the gameplay in a positive way. Like something's going to not revolutionize the NFL, because I don't think it needs that, but just something that adds a little bit more excitement in a really positive way. You know what I mean?
Well, you should bring back the old XFL way they started the games, where they had like they had like a scrum for the ball.
Own the bone.
Remember that
they
shit?
Did own the bone. They did that. Yes, we need own the bone in the NFL. Hells yeah. I love that. That's funny. Own the bone. Yes, I miss the XFL. I went to every home game in Las Vegas. It was awesome.
Thanks, Vince. Yeah, I went to one, and me and a bunch of buddies road trip to New York, so we saw one of the ones in the Meadowlands.
It was fun. It was fun.
Freezing though. It was so cold. It's like February.
Some of the best football experiences I've had has been going to XFL games, and believe it or not, NFL Europa. When NFL Europa used to exist, it was awesome. I went to the World Bowl, the final World Bowl. Meatloaf performed. It was awesome, man. We had a blast.
Yeah, I used to go to Patriots games. I can't stand crowds anymore. I don't bother. But I used to go to quite a few.
Yeah, I think the older you get, the more fun sick you get. I don't blame you.
Yeah, I'd be hungover by the third quarter and kind of miserable and cold. And like old Foxborough Stadium, old Sullivan Stadium before Gillette had it was like concrete rafters or whatever. You're like sitting on concrete all day. It's kind of rough.
It's a little rough. And how many times can you honestly hear fucking Tom Brady, before you want to kill yourself? Right. Fucking Tom Brady or whatever. Fuck, I can't do a Boston accent to save my life. I swear to God. But yeah, we'll go ahead and open it up to a couple phone calls here before we start getting into the game. We've had a few people try to call a bunch. I have not taken your phone call yet. We'll dive into the games as soon as we'll take a call or two, and then we'll dive into the game. Sound good?
Nice. Yep.
Now we got to wait for a phone call. That's Pittsburgh. The only problem.
Where's Pittsburgh?
I don't know. He wasn't trying to call. A couple other people were. So feel free to call in now, or we're going to the games. You have 24 seconds. I don't know. But yeah, so.
Isaac, you should have dropped Andre Johnson. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
I guess we could do the Thursday game while we wait.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Thursday. That's right. We had a pretty interesting game, man. Andre Johnson tearing it up with Matt Hasselbeck, like a combined age of 77 years old or something like that.
Right. Yeah, throwing Vinatieri for the extra point, and it was, lovely.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point.
It's like 130 years between them or something.
It was a beatdown, wasn't it? I mean, damn.
Yeah, my daily fantasy leagues, I stacked, and it paid off. I stacked Foster and Nuke Hopkins, who looks awesome, by the way.
Yeah, the score was not as close as the game actually was. Like the score was much closer than the game was. Indy had that game pretty well in hand.
Yeah, for pretty much, But I got the stats I thought I would in daily fantasy, so I'm off to a good start in the tournaments, and
nice.
Then so I got it's half point PPR in the Yahoo Daily Fantasy, and I got so I had Hopkins, who did really well with lots of catches and yards, and then Arian Foster didn't look so great running, but sure had a lot of catches. He had 28 touches in that game.
Good Lord.
How can you not like Foster as he gets healthier? 28 touches.
If he stays healthy, I mean, that's the trick with him now. That's the trick.
It always is, yeah. But
it is.
Goddamn.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens with another old guy on that Colts team right now, Frank Gore. He had a really nice performance as well.
Yeah. I
was
playing
surprising.
against him.
I gave up on Johnson early.
Yeah, and I wouldn't go get excited about him anymore. I guess you shouldn't. I always dismiss the emotion behind revenge games.
I know you're there. I'm going to get to you in a second. Now, I should drop just for hemming me. I should drop your ass. I should make you go back to
I
the
was
tone.
talking, Dave. I love you.
Can you believe that? The nerve of some people, Jim. Unbelievable. Well, Philip, you're here, and you just butted your way in. What do you got? You better be good. Now, the pressure's on now, buddy.
Don't worry, Dave. I'll be amazing. I heard you guys earlier talking about the 2-point conversions and how you would like to see that more. I think that's going to actually happen more because a lot of these kickers aren't going to want to go for the 15-yard extra point kicks now, so we might get more of that.
Kickers don't get to choose shit.
He's a kicker.
Oh, you know what? Head coaches might want to not take that chance. Like, you have a really crappy kicker.
Do you really think
80% of head coaches? Yeah, 80% of head coaches have no fucking balls in the NFL this year. They're horrible.
But you really see Bill Belichick having this conversation? Steven, come here. Do you want to go after this kick? No? I'll just put my hoodie back on and fuck myself. No! That conversation doesn't happen. Belichick's
like, how can I run it up if I only get 1 point?
If I go back farther, can we get 3 points if I go back farther?
It's Matt.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. Like, the head coaches, they really wouldn't want to do that, but who knows? It could happen, possibly. The future.
I just want to point out, Kansas City had 7 field goals in a game they were losing. Sackless NFL coaches.
Yeah.
7 field goals when you're losing in the second half.
That's pretty bad.
It's unbelievable.
I think the 2-point
Who does that?
I think the 2-point conversion is still going to stay a situational thing. Early in the games, I don't see a lot of coaches going for them. They're still going to go for their a little bit longer extra point, but they're still going to go for the extra point. It's still going to be a situational thing. Maybe some ballsy coaches might decide, hey, I'm going for it every single time, but I don't see it happening anytime soon.
Tomlin.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
He's the
closest one. Or Riverboat Ron, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, when you got guys like Cam, and if friggin' Ben Roethlisberger can get back on the field, and you got Andrew Luck is another guy. I wouldn't be surprised if ran it more, with the 2-point option. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
If you have a fullback or halfback who can run, you might put all the trust in them.
It seems like teams either don't want to do it anymore, or they've gotten gun shy at the fact of seeing people get stuffed on the goal line in critical situations. So coaches trick themselves out. We saw it in the Super Bowl, for Christ's sake. We see coaches outfox themselves into losing games. We saw it this year. Seattle with the exact same decision It just doesn't matter sometimes. It's very weird.
Exactly,
Yep.
but it's like high risk, high reward, you know?
Yeah. What else you got,
'Cause if
Philip? I'm
they
about to
wouldn't make
drop your
that-
ass. What else you got?
I would think they argue
that's-
there's no reward. I mean, it's only another point unless the math works out that you're down by 8.
Yeah.
A lot of coaches don't see it as high reward. They
It's
see it as
situational. Yeah, it's
or
still
missed,
situational. Yeah, I agree.
Very much. So are you guys going to start talking about individual games? Because I
Yes.
have a question about the Giants and San Francisco 49ers. Who do you think's going to win that game?
We're going to talk about that game in just a little bit. We're going to get game to game here in a minute, so make sure you stay tuned. That's how I trick you. That's how I hook you. You got to wait until we get to the game, so you got to sit through the rest of this shit until we get to your particular game. Have fun, motherfucker. No, I'm just kidding. Just hang out, and we'll get
Damn.
I
there.
will.
Damn.
I appreciate the call. We appreciate your
Thank you for having me.
we
Really, we
appreciate
should
your
get to the
viewership at Dead on Day
breakdowns.
Productions. Hang
Take it
out,
easy, Dave.
motherfucker. We'll see you next time, man. All right.
Jesus.
All right.
I don't know. I was irritated for some reason. It was weird. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. It bugged me.
Well, we need listeners and callers. So
That's true.
tone it
Maybe I
down.
shouldn't be
Tone it
mean.
down. Right.
Let's bring in another one here, which has the potential of irritating the piss out of me. Pittsburgh Boy 96, you're live.
Pittsburgh, the best.
I ain't here to talk shit about the Cubs. Don't worry, Dave.
There's no shit to talk about the Cubs. We knocked your dumbass team out of the friggin' playoffs, and now we won last night. I'm a happy guy.
There you go. Still pussy.
I'm going now. Pittsburgh, don't get Pittsburgh mad like that again.
Yeah, I know. For the sake of furniture.
I saw you in the chat Wednesday, Pittsburgh. You're losing your shit.
Yeah.
It's okay. What do you got for us this week, Pittsburgh?
I want to ask you about a certain player.
Okie dokie.
Where's your thoughts on Devonta Freeman?
Jim, go ahead and start with that one, man. I have a feeling you have a little bit different of a take on him than I do.
Well, he's so from a fantasy perspective. I mean, he's been a beast. After 2 huge weeks, he's the #1 running back in fantasy. I believe he'll stay a running back 1 even with Coleman back. So I think there's a lot of value, especially as I keep saying, there's wasteland at running back, especially talented 2-3 down running backs that aren't in a committee. So Freeman runs himself into a committee a little bit. I think that's inevitable. So his numbers come back down to earth. I think he'll be very good, very serviceable. If I had him and I could get like a haul for him, I would probably trade him, but I still expect, and I wouldn't be disappointed if I had to keep him. I still expect he'll do very well.
Yeah.
I'm playing him in 1 Yahoo Daily game, hoping he still has a 3rd breakout week. I think he's really good. I thought he was great last year. I thought it was a crime. Atlanta might have, made the playoffs in that shitty division if they had used him more. They just,
Very true.
for some reason, kept on riding what's his face there, the Steven Jackson.
I don't know why sometimes that happens. It cost Mike Smith his job, though, so, man.
Yeah, so he's a talent. The other guy's a talent. Coleman's talent. We'll see how it breaks down. But I don't see how you take the ball out of that guy's hands after the last 2 weeks. I don't see it, except for injury.
I think he gets the benefit of his performance this week, and if he doesn't produce, then obviously you have Coleman there as well. But yeah, I think this week he's a really good option in fantasy. At least if you've been starting him, you might as well keep starting him. There's no point not to. You'll find out a lot after this week, though. I like him. I tried to trade for him. I couldn't. I offered a lot for him in our league, Jim. Not the Dead on Dave league, the other one. I offered a lot for him and couldn't get him.
I would only trade him for like a haul, like an offer I couldn't refuse.
I offered quite a bit, but not enough.
It would have to be some top shelf booze.
Oh, okay.
Like
Anything else,
it would have to
Pittsburgh?
be-
So, is Trey Mason still going to be starting for the Rams, or
No,
is it going to start
No.
changing?
Gurley's the
change
man
of
now.
pace. Trey Mason will be change of pace.
Yeah. Yep.
Sweet.
That's an easy answer. Gurley's the guy.
I don't know
Beast.
that Gurley's a 4-down back yet. He sure as hell looked like it. I don't know how he's going to do with receiving and pass protection early on. It usually takes rookies a while to pick up on pass protection. So you might see a mix of Cunningham and Mason in for third downs. But, it's Gurley time.
I think he's still good for 15 to 20 touches, maybe as many as 23, 24. So, I mean, I don't think you have that much to worry about with him if you're starting him.
Who, Gurley or Mason?
Yeah, Gurley. Lord knows Pittsburgh doesn't have a choice because he drafted him in the second fucking round. That's the thing about second-round picks. You should never be asking about starting.
Hey, I got good running backs.
What's that?
I got good running backs. I have Freeman, I have Gurley, and I have C.J. Anderson, who's not so great.
The only thing you got was lucky. That's the only thing you got was
I didn't get lucky.
Freeman was a complete flyer. There's no way you drafted him with prior knowledge he was going to blow up the way he did. Gurley,
I drafted him in the fourth round.
You wasted a second-round pick on Gurley when you could have got him in the fifth or sixth easily, and then you sat on him for 3 weeks before you had half a good football. The only thing you've gotten is lucky. That's it.
I have a good team. My
make you defensive.
My receiver selection could be a little better, but
who's your receiver? Who's your best receiver? Real quick.
Let's see here. I got Randall Cobb. I got.
It's good.
Keenan Allen. I have a hurt Dez Bryant.
Jesus. Yeah. You should be fine.
You should be fine. We'll see.
I'm not gonna slot shame you.
Be as slotty as you want to be, buddy.
Yeah. This past week, Steve Smith got hurt, so there goes one of my.
What's the name of your team?
He's not in our league, dude.
No, he's in ours. Yeah.
No, I have Steve Smith.
Blanket. Yeah, you got Keenan, Pierre Garçon. You're starting Garçon this week. Ballsy man. DeMarco Murray and Andre Ellington, who's done nothing for you. You don't have. Wait, I'm not looking at the right team.
I don't know that Pittsburgh. Are you in the Dead on Dave free league?
No, I'm in the league with my brother.
Oh, then I don't even. Right. Why am I talking to you? I don't give a shit.
That's what I was trying to say.
Get your ass out of the tunnel.
He's listing off some players that are on my team. I'm like, he's not in our league.
Go take a shower, Pittsburgh. You're done here. Goodbye. Have a good one.
That is a good team, man.
That is a good team. What the fuck, dog, man? Jesus, unbelievable. Take it easy, Pittsburgh.
All right, you guys.
I don't like. Oh wait, he didn't have Pierre Garçon. That's somebody else. Yeah, I don't like Pierre Garçon, but.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
What does the matter today?
I love
being mean to everybody. It's not good.
Yeah, don't do that. We're going to lose listeners.
That's okay.
Be nice. Answer questions.
War of attrition, man. War of attrition. If you can hang with us, then you can hang with us. But buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy friggin' ride. No, I'm just kidding. Stay no matter what. I'll be nice. I promise. I'm sorry. Let's get into a couple of notes on players who are definitely out this week. Marshawn Lynch, LaShawn McCoy, Carlos Williams, Marquise Lee, wide receiver for Jacksonville, Joyt Bell for Detroit, Haloti Ngata is out. That's not a big fantasy concern, but still. And all from the Redskins. Starting quarters, Chris Culliver, DeAngelo Williams, and tight end Jordan Reed and Deshaun Jackson are all out in this game. So not a good day to be Washington, I don't think.
The sleeper in that game is Crowder. Check out a receiver, Crowder.
Why'd you say it all weird like that?
I don't know. It just felt like a douche.
It said it very strange.
Crowder.
Weird. Crowder. Yeah. You ready to get into some games here? Pick some games and all that good stuff?
Yeah, let's do that, and we'll try and answer questions in the relevant games and do sit starts and injuries through the relevant games also.
Which I think that we'll probably just do that from the jump from here on out. I don't know.
It's all good.
I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. So, all right, let's start with Tampa Bay at home against Jacksonville. Somehow, I don't understand the line here. I understand that home team is going to get the benefit of the doubt most of the time, but Tampa being a favorite at any point this season makes no sense to me, even against Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville wins this game, and rather convincingly. I like Jacksonville in this game. I like their team better. I absolutely hate Tampa. If you have not figured that out yet, It's because it's like watching the 2008 Chicago Bears. It really is. Like half this team, they're all Melton's over there. Conti, fucking Major Wright. I mean, it's just bear after bear after bear. And it's 6 years after they were relevant. And it's just driving me absolutely crazy. I can't stand Lovie Smith. I think he's one of the worst coaches in all of the NFL because he just is so stubborn. Tampa 2. We're doing a Tampa 2. That's it. Tampa 2.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Covered 2.
Drives me nuts. So I'm taking Tampa Bay. Jameis
I thought you were
Winston.
taking Jacksonville.
What's up? Oh, I'm taking Jacksonville. That's right. I have no faith in Jameis Winston. Even with his 2 monstrous receivers, he can't get him the ball. So Jacksonville for me.
All right, 2 similar teams in my eyes. Fairly undeveloped, weak defenses, unproven quarterbacks, talented receivers, some fair talent at running back for both. So when I see them both as equal, I take the home team. I'll go contrary and take Tampa.
Okie dokie. I don't mind that at all. Okie doke. Next up.
Very similar teams. It could be a lot of points in that game.
It could be. This could be a
shootout.
This is not a game for defense.
I got some shares on the offense. Even on the defense, I did roll the dice a little here and there on Jacksonville as a really cheap option.
I actually did too. I picked up Jacksonville's defense.
Yeah, because I feel like the quarterback there is prone to turnovers.
Yes. Tampa is so inept offensively. Their offense is offensive. It's just horrible. I cannot get with Tampa. Can't get with them. Can't do it. Next up, we got Buffalo going on the road to Tennessee. If you like Buffalo, you're laying 1 here. A little bit surprised at this. Buffalo has played very well at times, but looked mediocre at best at others. Tennessee doesn't really scare anybody, I don't think. So I am going with them. Who did I pick in my Yahoo League? I think I picked Buffalo. Let me make sure. Yeah, I got Buffalo here.
I'm going to go contrary again. I'm going to take Tennessee.
Are you going contrary just to go contrary, or what's the reason for
No, Buffalo's on the road. I'm not sold that Buffalo's as good as they started. They've got no running backs. Boobie Dixon is splitting time with some other schlep rock. So they've got no running backs and inexperienced quarterback with no running backs. I don't even know Sammy Watkins is even playing. So I don't know. It's a Percy Harvin show apparently, which is okay, not great. He's not going to win a game by himself. And Tennessee's defense is a bit better, and I'm a Mariota believer, so I'm taking Mariota at home.
I'm basically picking this game on Buffalo's defense. I think it's going to step up today and have a big game. It's going to confuse this rookie. I think Mariota is going to make a lot of mistakes, and basically he's going to be worse than Tyrod Taylor. That's my main reason for picking Buffalo here.
Fair enough.
But I like your reasons. Your reasons almost swayed me, which you usually are capable of doing.
We'll see. I'll try and get one in here. I don't know if I have any big Bango plays this week, but we'll see.
We don't have the nutsack that Bango has. I wish we did. I wish I did at least. Lord knows the world would be a better place. Next, we got Baltimore at home, laying 6.5. If you like them, against Cleveland. And who's quarterbacking? I couldn't tell you. Is it McCown again? I have no idea.
McCown for now.
Yep. That's enough for me to go with a very underachieving Baltimore team. I don't like Baltimore. I don't like the team at all. I don't like anything they're doing on any facet of the game. I'm going with them because I still cannot pick Cleveland. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to picking Cleveland.
Who's at home today?
It's Baltimore.
Ooh. Yeah. I was almost tempted to go Cleveland. My problem here is that Cleveland's defense isn't too shabby. I expect that they're going to key in on the running game of Baltimore because, there's no receiving game. Like I said, Kamar Aiken is expected to be they don't even have their tight end. I mean, Kamar Aiken is it. So Joe Hayden is expected to play, although he's banged up with his ribs.
Finger, wasn't it?
Finger and ribs. So he's expected to return. So if he really does have a rib injury, that's interesting. I am playing Kamar Aiken in one place as a Hail Mary, just because he's the only game in town, really.
So,
I'm going to go Cleveland. I'm going to go
wow.
contrary for the third in a row.
We're opposites on the first 3 games. That's incredible.
I love it. It's fun.
Let's take a break from this war that we're having and bring in a caller. Tony Hall, you're joining the show. What's up, man? What you got? Tony Hall, and he left. Well, I don't know what to tell you. I tried to take your
Hi, Tony.
but he's gone. Oh, no, he's trying to call again. Let's see. Tony Hall, are you there? You're live with Dead on Dave.
What's up, man?
What you got, man? What's up?
You want? I'll go with the Ravens here. They're their favorite home. Lost like 3 games. They with embarrassment. I'll tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
And Flacco did a little interceptions a couple times. You missed. How do you feel about it? The Ravens going to win today. What do you think? Any idea? What do you think they're gonna win today?
I'm on the Ravens mainly because I can't pick Cleveland. I mean, it's not scientific.
No, I don't think so
I
because.
can't do it.
Oh my name. I'm going to ask this question. Who you win? You want the Redskins or Atlanta to win today?
Well, we're going to get to that game. We're going to get to all the games here in order. So just
Okay.
just hang out and you'll get that answer. You'll get that question answered very shortly, okay?
Okay.
Hey, I appreciate the call, though, buddy. Got anything else?
What do you think the Ravens defense will be like at today? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, it's a leaderless defense, and that's the scary thing. But again, the ineptness of Cleveland makes me hopeful that anything can happen. So I can't give anybody a good reason why Baltimore will win other than Cleveland is an embarrassment. That's
I'll
all
give you
I
a reason.
got.
Cleveland wins because of Duke Johnson.
There you go.
Like him a lot today.
There you go. I appreciate the call, Mr. Hall.
Thanks, man.
Take it easy. Everyone wants to. I'm getting irritated by the fact that everyone pick this game now. What the fuck?
It's all right. Don't get mad.
No, it drives me crazy.
They want to talk to you about that particular game.
Well,
you know?
yeah. Well, you hear us talking.
It's almost like wait till we start talking about it, then call in and try and get in on that game when we talk about it.
What's the better format? It's like what?
Well, I think that makes the most sense. Is you talk about the game, and as soon as we bring up the game or introduce the game, if you want to get something in on that game, give us a call.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes, I like that.
Or if we already covered it, then we can talk about past games.
Yes.
But future games where we already have a whole agenda.
Oh, I think he was asking about the Redskins game, right?
He asked about the Redskins, and then I don't know if it was a slip because he started asking about the Raiders winning, which I'm like,
I think
no,
he said Ravens.
Okay, yeah. So I knew he talked about the Ravens, but I thought he slipped.
The funny thing is, I shouldn't have let him go because the next game I have, it's Atlanta and Washington. So you're getting your wish right now.
So I picked Cleveland, you picked Baltimore.
Yes.
This should be interesting.
We are contrary on the first 3 games.
I love it.
Now Atlanta's at home, laying 7. They're the very obvious favorites here against Washington, who is just absolutely depleted. The question is Atlanta going to continue to look as good as they have? And Washington has not looked horrible, but with all the injuries, can they possibly go into Atlanta and win this game? I don't think so. I think not only Atlanta wins, but they cover as well.
Well, Julio Jones is active for Week 5. He's
Yes,
a bit
he is.
banged up. He practiced limited all week. They're full strength with running backs in Atlanta. Redskins' defense is underrated.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty good. They're away from home though, so I don't really give the Redskins much of a chance here. So I'm going to take the Falcons with that offense, especially.
Yeah, no, I'm right with you. I just don't see it. I can't get with Washington. I like some of the things they're doing. I like the running game quite a bit. I know I picked up one of their guys from the.
Yeah, I mean, here's the problem with a team like Atlanta early in the season here. If you have superstar performances in receiving and running back, like what do you key in on? What do you sell out to stop? Because then Julio Jones will eat your lunch if you sell out to stop the run, and vice versa. So somebody's eating Washington's lunch today, and I believe it's going to be Atlanta.
Yeah, it's pick your poison. Who are you going to sell out against? Both your starting cornerbacks are out, so conventional wisdom says Julio Jones is going to have a monster game. But I'm thinking that his injury might limit him. This might be the week that Roddy White gets it going. This could be the week. He might be a sleeper.
Or Hank time still.
Or it could be Hank time. That's true. But
I don't know.
I like Roddy White, man. I root for him.
I root for him. Roddy White hosts a fantasy football show, which I thought was interesting. So does Maurice Jones-Drew. Less interesting, but Roddy White. I'm like, you're in the midst of like an awesome offense and a complete slump of your career, and you're hosting a fantasy football show. I like imagine the questions like, "Hey, you're gonna play this week?"
I wouldn't take callers.
I wouldn't take callers if I were in his situation. Of like, I would like if I had the balls to host a show while I'm an active player.
Yeah,
I would. I would hope the hell I'm doing well.
Yeah, can you just imagine? They're probably filtering like a mother. Like there's just a guy who's like, nope, not taking this call, not taking this one.
Yeah, if he had a YouTube show, the haters would be all over him. Just like Twitter. Twitter's the worst. I imagine like the worst thing about being an NFL player is to have to log into fucking Twitter and hear about everybody benching you on their fantasy team. He's like, I'm a millionaire. Fuck you.
Social media is
me
the
for the rest
devil.
of the year.
The social media is horrible.
Like the keyboard warriors, like tagging, sending, tweets to, I don't know, Alshon Jeffrey or even Arian Foster. CJ Anderson at one point is like, I hope you bench me for the rest of the season. Essentially like, go fuck yourself.
And none of these kids would ever dare say any of this to someone's face. It's ridiculous. I don't know.
Right.
Let's get to the next.
So Atlanta for me.
Atlanta. We agree on one finally. Yay. I have a feeling we're going to agree on the next one too.
Was it Dallas?
Now, Kansas City at home hosted my Bears. Look, the Bears are 1-3. They are a bad team, but they have looked really good on offense at times. So I don't know. Kansas City has looked a little suspect at sometimes. They haven't been. I don't feel they put together a real complete performance yet. I don't think Chicago has a real legitimate chance. But if they upset, I don't know how shocked I would be.
I would be shocked. I would be shocked, honestly, in Kansas City. I wouldn't know how to pick this game if there were two different factors. And the different factors are if this game were in Chicago and if Alshon Jeffrey was active with Cutler. The problem I have here is, the Kansas City defense is getting shredded even at home, but it tends to be a really difficult place to play.
Yes.
And the Chicago defense is like gone, gone.
Literally, we shipped a whole bunch of players away.
Yeah, so there's no Alshon, there's no Eddie Royal, so it's the Forte show, and it's the Black Unicorn, Martellus Bennett, who's awesome. And I like I'm throwing in a sleeper today of Marquez Wilson coming around. He had 80 yards last week, and without the two top receivers and a bad Kansas City secondary, I like him to do a little damage this week again.
Are both Royal and Alshon confirmed out? Because I only saw that they were doubtful.
Alshon's confirmed out, and the other one there is doubtful, which to me
changes things because I have a feeling that Jamal Charles is going to have a game.
I have a feeling Jamal Charles is going to have 200 combined yards and 2 to 3 touchdowns.
That would be awesome. I would like that very much.
As a Bears fan or a fantasy?
As a fantasy owner. That's what I hate about fantasy. It makes you root against my team.
Right.
Far too often.
Against your team. Your team should take priority, right?
They should, but luckily I know how bad the Bears. I love the Bears, whether they're winning or losing. I'm not a homer asshole that will just pick Bears because I'm a Bear fan. Fuck that. I want to win. I know better. I know my team sucks. I own that. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just how it is.
So Marquez Wilson, I think, has a game. Forte, I don't think matches what Charles does on the opposite end, and I don't know. I mean, Kansas City could screw it up and kick 7 field goals again. And they're losing. I don't know what to do with Kansas City, but they're at home. Chicago's defense is gone. It's not there anymore.
Cutler's not 100% healthy. That's another thing. Yeah.
I like him in this game, but who's he passing to? If he had Jeffrey, I'd like it a lot more. But
start Bennett.
I have to take Kansas City.
Start Bennett. Start Bennett. Start him. He should get a lot of looks here. Quick note on this game. Are you a little bit surprised at how well overall Cutler's played when he's been in? I'm fairly shocked at how well he's played this season.
Well, there's a lot less pressure with the new coaching team, true. I think. And remember, he's playing for a contract, so it's almost like I think Fox kind of stripped down the offense, so he's in less of a position to it's a pressure thing. He stripped down the offense, so it's less of the backyard, playground freestyle thing that kept getting Cutler in trouble.
Yeah.
So, they went to more of a basic offense, especially without dynamic receivers right now.
Yeah.
So there was a lot more pressure with the last regime playing for their jobs, and a lot of hostility, a lot of problems there. And he's a head case. Cutler's a head case. Yes,
he is.
So.
He is Jeff George reincarnated.
So between playing for a contract, he'll be a free agent. He'll be absolutely gone. And less pressure at the franchise in general. I think it's working out for him for now. We'll see.
Well, I think
nobody expects him to win. Nobody expects anything out of him without receivers.
I think we're stuck with him for one more year. He's got guaranteed money for one more year, and he's got a couple of years after that he's not going to see. But yeah, he is still playing for a contract. You are right. He is still, even though that the Bears might eat the money next year and just say screw it. If they have a high enough draft pick and they're able to get the heir apparent or find someone in the free agency, they might eat the money. It's a lot of money to eat, but if Cutler is playing the way he was last year.
Because I think they have like a 2-3 year rebuilding plan I was reading in Chicago with the ownership in Fox.
Yep.
So I think they have a long-term plan, which means that I don't think they'll be, pursuing big superstar contracts next year. And I think they'd even be willing to eat this one, and move on.
If Cutler continues to play the way he is now, I don't think there's a problem with keeping him around next year because that you're paying him anyway.
Right. So. I think Alshon's in a contract year too.
Yeah, I think he might be. And I don't think he's resigning.
That's interesting.
I personally, if him and Forte, I would have traded. I got to be honest. I'd be looking for trade partners right now because neither one of them's coming back.
I think they'll still trade Forte.
I think they have to trade Forte. And I think Dallas has got to start getting desperate for him.
Dallas or Denver, right?
Dallas. I think he's a better fit in Denver because, Peyton there. But Dallas, I think Dallas might pay more.
Right.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, so Chicago, it's a mess, but I think as the year goes on, they might be kind of fun to watch as the pressure comes off. And, they're probably targeting a high draft pick at this point. So there's not the coach job saving pressure that was apparent last year. Last year was a mess. You knew it across the country that Chicago was just a stressed out mess.
The gaps in Trestman's game became very apparent. Now he's an offensive coordinator again, which fits him. That's what he needs to be. He's a great offensive mind. But the head coaching jobs are just too much for him. John Fox can shield that load, so I like what the Bears did there. So,
I'm with you.
But they are getting 9.5. I think that's actually not a terrible spread. If you're betting this game, I might take Chicago at 9.5. Straight up, I'm taking Kansas City, but 9.5 Chicago might squeak in there.
Yeah, I don't like Kansas City's offense to cover a spread like that unless, again, Jamal Charles would have to go bonkers. Kelsey might do something. I like Alex Smith to get yards but not touchdowns.
Yeah.
So he had like 400 combined yards and no touchdowns.
That's not good.
What the hell?
It's like, how is that even possible? What are the Bears' defensive ranking? That's what I want to know.
Like 28.
Yeah. Their points against. They're tied for 31st. It's not good. Not good. Not good. They're giving us 31.2 points a game.
I feel bad if you're playing against Charles today. Holy crap.
Yeah. It might get maybe 9.5 isn't enough. I don't know. Well, that's still a lot of points. We'll see. Next,
9.5 is a lot for Chicago, I think. They have no passing game, and they're going to have to.
True.
Well, I don't know. They might not get out of hand till the end. We'll see if one of the defenses pulls something out of their ass. But Yeah, 9.5 might be there. I don't know.
We'll see. Next up is Philadelphia at home against New Orleans. This is an interesting game because, you kind of still want to get lost in the whole Philadelphia hype, and New Orleans at the beginning of the season looked like an absolute mess. Breeze is back. They don't look as horrible coming off of a relatively big win against the Cowboys. They got some momentum. CJ Spiller's starting to get into the offense a little bit. I like what they're doing. Philadelphia still does not look like they are comfortable in any aspect of the game right now. If you like them, they're at home and they're laying 5.5. They are the favorites. I kind of want to go New Orleans. I think in my Yahoo League, I picked Philadelphia. No, I picked New Orleans in this game. And I might switch that. Jim, I need you to convince me, man.
Philadelphia.
Really?
Yep.
Is this the week they put it together?
Well, they've had some games. Remember, I picked Philly to win, and they did win. What, 2 seasons, 2 episodes ago. I picked Philly to win, and they beat who they beat? Buffalo?
Yeah, they did.
Somebody?
No, wait, it
something
wasn't
like
Buffalo.
that.
Who was it?
They beat somebody. I picked them, and it was an upset pick. So I don't know. Philly can come along. New Orleans defense doesn't scare me. New Orleans on the road doesn't scare me whatsoever. They're historically bad.
Yeah.
Especially traveling that far.
Philly
Breeze,
is 1
I think
and 3 though. They are 1 and 3. And
they've had some tough matchups, and their offense hasn't aligned yet. But this could kind of be a get well game. I know I've said that probably before, but. Yeah, all the things. I mean, New Orleans doesn't travel well. I don't think Drew Brees is completely healthy yet. All of his stuff is still short and doesn't seem that accurate. And I don't think C.J. Spiller is more ingrained in the game plan. If C.J. Spiller didn't have an 80-yard touchdown catch and run in the overtime, a lot of people would probably be dropping him at this point.
That's true, but I mean, the coming out all week and from practice was how he's looking better, looking more healthy, and they're looking to get him more involved in the offense. We'll see if that happens.
Right. Yeah, they should be. I just have a feeling, especially at home, I'm going to go with my gut and suggest that Philly wins this one. I don't ever like New Orleans on the road against
I'm losing confidence in the Eagles, though. Week by week, they lost to the Redskins last week. I'm just losing confidence in this team.
I would argue you should gain confidence, and you shouldn't have started with it. I mean, it's a complicated offense when you think about it. It's the wrong offense for their quarterback. Yeah. I think we agree.
Oh yeah, but with that being said, though,
they're not going to stay this bad. This offensive line was supposed to be better on paper than it is. The running backs are supposed to be better than they are. The quarterback is supposed to be better than they are, and he hasn't played much in the past few years. So I think this team should only get better as they get more comfortable in the system. I think you should.
Here's the thing: there's a lot of supposed tos there. You got an offensive line that really hasn't played together until this season. You got Sam Bradford, who I don't think he's ever played a complete year. DeMarco Murray had a breakout season last year, but he's had injury problems before that. And he also ran behind one of the best offensive lines last year, if not the best offensive line in football. So I think with all of those things, I don't know. I can't get behind him. I was really into this team in the preseason. But now I don't know.
Yeah, I'm standing by my opinion that you shouldn't have been comfortable with Philly in the beginning, and you should grow more comfortable as the season goes on, as they get more comfortable with a complicated offense. So I like Philly in this game. New Orleans doesn't travel well. That's my pick.
They don't travel well. I agree there. But I'm going to stick with New Orleans. I was switching, but I'm going to stick with. I'm going to be contrarian this time.
I love it.
I'm being contrarian. There we go. Next, we got Green Bay at home against St. Louis. And I like this game. I think this game will be closer than I do. I hate the spread. I hate Green Bay getting 9. I know that they play well at home. Aaron Rodgers does not throw picks at home. That's all great. I get all of that. St. Louis has played really, really well at times this year. I think that they can go to Green Bay and play their style, really grind the ball, keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands as much as humanly possible, and keep this thing close. I don't think they'll win the game, but I don't see them losing by 9 either. I'm taking Green Bay, but I kind of want to pull the trigger because I have a feeling St. Louis might pull an upset.
Well, so you're taking Green Bay?
I am taking Green Bay, yeah.
That must hurt.
It does. I hate doing it, but
So listen, I'm taking Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw turnovers and barely loses at home.
Yeah.
St. Louis doesn't have the firepower. So there won't be turnovers, which St. Louis can thrive on. If Todd Gurley doesn't run like he did in the second half last week, in the first half this week, Aaron Rodgers isn't staying off the field.
very true.
So it only takes a few drives in Lambeau before you're down, and it ruins your Todd Gurley game plan, and you're looking at, Tavon Austin to try and bail out your day.
Yeah.
So I'm not picking against Green Bay at home. I probably wouldn't even pick the Patriots over Green Bay at home at any point.
And I agree with that.
I'm definitely not picking St. Louis.
The thing is, the Rams have played really good against the pass this year. They've only given up 3 touchdowns to receivers. I don't know if that's going to continue. But I think there's a possibility. It would not shock me. I'm not picking the Rams here, but it would not shock me if they came and punched them in the mouth. It just would not shock me at all.
Well, maybe it's a close game, but then you have Fat Eddie Lacy will run in one, potentially 2. So
what do you think about
Green
the line?
Bay,
What do you think about Green Bay giving 9? That seems a lot here.
I don't like 9 against St. Louis.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
St. Louis is a sparky team, man.
Yeah.
That can upset you and can definitely keep it close. I don't like 9 against St. Louis.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I was saying, yeah. So we're both on Green Bay.
Yes. Yep.
I had to spit that out of my mouth. Next, we're traveling to Cincinnati as the Bengals host Seattle, man. Does Cincinnati continue its reign of pretty damn good football up to this point? If not consistent, but good football. Seattle, they're without Marshawn Lynch this week. Jimmy Graham really hasn't started to get. You were right on Jimmy Graham. I have to give you 100% credit there. You were right. He has not been setting the world on fire. You said at the beginning of the year, I thought it would be different. You were right on that. But can they go?
Yeah, it's not. It's Seattle's style of play. I watched this Seattle game closely this past week, and I feel like Russell Wilson is only comfortable in broken plays where he's scrambling and running around, and Jimmy Graham he's never been a prolific route runner. He's not one that's gonna keep running all over the field to like a locket to get open. Some professionals like a route and to sometimes run the play that's called, and Russell Wilson is exciting and interesting and good at certain things, but when you watch the game, he's so quick to break down the play and start scrambling and trying to make something happen in outside of the pocket. And I don't think it's Jimmy Graham's game.
No, you're 100% right.
He's not gonna run around like a maniac. He just can't to make shit happen. So if he would stay in the pocket sometimes and run the expected play, I think Jimmy Graham could be better than he is now. But I don't think it's the right offense for him.
You might be right there. Seattle's 2-2. They beat the Bears and the Lions both at home. They've lost both the road games.
They should not have beat the Lions.
No, they shouldn't have. They lost both of their road games at St. Louis and at Green Bay. Both hard places to play, especially for them. They're on the road again against Cincinnati, who has played really well. I'm going with Cincinnati. What about you?
I'm going with Cincinnati until Seattle shows me more. I don't like Seattle on the road. I think Cincinnati may be the best regular season team in the AFC, a notch above the Patriots even, as far as balance between offense and defense. The best all-around AFC team, potentially, in my mind anyway, and people would be surprised to hear me say that. So I don't see them losing against a weekend Seattle. I think it'll be a hard, tough game. I am benching Jeremy Hill, and I'm still to this moment not sure I should against Seattle. But I didn't love the matchup, and I needed some upside in one of my leagues. Mm-hmm. So I benched Hill, I threw in like Hearns or something awful like that. But I like Cincinnati. I like them in a close, hard-fought game. Probably 3 points.
Yeah. If it got out of hand, it wouldn't be a big shock to me either, though. So we'll see. Should be an interesting one.
Yeah. Cincinnati for me, though. Yeah.
Let's take a call real quick. Here we got a guy trying to call in. Boy, man, 1, 2, 3. Are you here? Are you live now with Dead on Dave? I don't know.
Sounds like it.
Boy, man, 1, 2, 3. You're live with Dead on Dave. What you got?
Hello, guys.
What's going on, boy, man? How you doing?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm okay.
What you got, man?
Hello, team. Hello, live team.
All right, that's enough of that.
Turn the stupid show down, buddy. Who's that clown?
I don't know. I just dumped him. I'm pretty sure they were trying to troll. We were like seconds away from some kind of F-bomb or N-word tirade, which we get every now and then. So
is that a Cronin fan?
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe not necessarily. Right. Who knows?
All right, whatever.
Arizona at Detroit. Yeah. That has potential to be a blowout, in my opinion. I like Arizona. Not a huge fan of anything that Detroit's doing. They're winless for a reason. I think they'll continue to be so. I like Arizona a lot. So Arizona, it's real simple for me.
Is it me, or does Detroit keep getting brutal defensive matchups to start the year? It's like they can't get anything going. And after losing the way they did last week, they're probably in a tailspin. So one of two things happens, I guess. They lose horribly, or they win, pretty big.
Yeah.
They put it together. Arizona's shown a propensity to look really, really good, and then out of the blue, fizzle. I don't know. I like Arizona here. Obviously, I can't pick Detroit, but it wouldn't shock me, really, if Detroit pulled something out of their ass at home.
Yeah. Nico, the super gamer in the chat, said, "It was me. I'm Boyman1237. Well, you didn't say anything, and you were being weird, so I had to dump you.
Should change that screen name, Boyman.
Boyman. I'm sorry. It was just weird.
You should call it To Touch 'Em All.
Oh, God, yeah. Might be a better show for you. So, yeah. We're going to soldier on here. New England. Are we both taking Arizona, or did you take Detroit?
I'll take Arizona, but it wouldn't shock me if Detroit pulled something out of their ass just once.
Yeah, I don't have the confidence. Megatron doesn't look like Megatron, so
right.
That's a big problem for me, especially because I have him in my leagues. Ugh, it's bad. It's not good. Now I can't get rid of him for a ham sandwich either. It's terrible.
The most overrated quarterback ever on Detroit.
Stafford is horrible. God,
he's terrible.
He's really bad. New England going to Jerry World.
Yeah.
Dallas. Well, the remnants of the Cowboys. If you like New England, you're laying 9 here, and all the other 9-point spreads don't seem like they're right. This one doesn't seem like it's enough. I think New England's going to beat the brakes off Dallas. This is going.
I have a feeling they are too, and you know me, I'm a little more like Bango's more aggressive. Like New England will always win and win by a shitload, and a lot of times he's been right. Like I early on, I'm like, well, it's Dallas at home. Anything can happen. Are they really going to win by a lot? Like everybody thinks it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
As the week went on, I'm like, it's going to be a blowout. And I hope Greg Hardy breaks his fucking leg as a loser. What a piece of shit he is.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Jerry Jones, too. I hope he loses his fucking eyeball or something.
Yeah, you can't clean glasses. You can't have your son-in-law clean your glasses if you don't have fucking eyes. There you go.
Yeah. I think I think Dallas loses big, and that's not. I don't normally pick that way with the Patriots because again, it's the defense, right? The Patriots' defense is kind of ugh. So if the offense has an off day or Dallas's defense bows up, you would think there could be a chance for Dallas to win. But I'm not too impressed with the running game, although I think Christine Michael will start to play more of a role. It looks like McFadden will be the passing down back, which that's McFadden. He's kind of ugh.
Yeah.
I like Witten, but the news came out the Patriots' game plan, which makes sense, would be to shut down Witten and force Whedon to beat them on the outside with Williams, which they haven't proven. They had one great pass and catch, those two, but they haven't proven that they can consistently march the field and move the chains in the passing game with Whedon. So I guess it all comes down to, can Dallas's defense stop the Patriots? I don't think they can. Can Dallas's running backs come through? Maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit. But
couple things about Dallas. One, they really underestimated what DeMarco Murray was able to do, whether it was his talent or just his ability to mesh with that offensive line, whatever it was. They needed him more than they gave him credit for, and they made a mistake by letting him go. The other thing, their biggest hole that they have been torched on defense is over the middle. Guess who's coming over the middle today? It's Rob fucking Gronkowski. If you have Gronkowski, start him harder than you've ever started him before. I'm expecting a huge, huge game out of Gronk today, man. I mean, like, historically big. I have a feeling Gronk's going to get 4, possibly 5 touchdowns on this defense. I think it's going to be disgusting. I just have a feeling.
Yeah. Jerry Jones calls this game, it's like David versus Goliath, and I'm that's just terribly uncomfortable with. I need the Dallas bravado even when it's absurd. I need Dallas confident and bravado and saying stupid shit. There's a few things here. I can't imagine Brady or the Patriots offensive line like Greg Hardy very much after this week. I can't imagine that, Belichick and Kraft and those guys like Jerry Jones too much after the offseason. And a lot more comes out as Jerry Jones was a significant driver in this whole Deflategate bullshit. So I think it all lines up for just another week of scorched earth Tom Brady and the Patriots. So I don't like to pick blowouts, but if there is ever going to be one picked, I kind of feel like this is one.
I think you're right. Next, we got Denver going on the road to Oakland, which we've had this Denver Bronco team, which has escaped in most of their games this year. They've remained undefeated, having little to do with Peyton Manning. Luckily, he just hasn't really fucked up too many games this year, at least not enough to lose. Does that continue? If the Bears beat Oakland, there's no reason why I don't think Denver will, but this is an upset alert game for me. I think Oakland's played surprising well at times. I think Murray's going to have a nice game for him today, but that Denver defense is still very attacking and very good. So I like Denver, but this is one of those games where if Oakland won, it would be like we could have saw this coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Oakland's at home, right?
Yes, they are. Divisional
game. Oakland played Denver tough at times, other times not so tough in years past. This is a talented Oakland team. It's an up-and-coming team, especially on offense. Both receivers and running backs look strong. Quarterback.
Without Crabtree, right? Crabtree's out. But they still got Amari Cooper, who's looked really good.
Amari Cooper looks real good. He's legit in my mind anyway.
Murray's been a little inconsistent, but I like him.
He's been better than I thought he would be early on. He got a lot of accolade off of one or a couple plays in one game. He rode off that quite a bit, and thank God they had the confidence to go with him and not build one of these running back committees that I can't stand across the NFL. You know what? I'm going to go. This is my Bango crazy pick. I'm going to go Oakland over Denver.
I can't even blame you for it. The way Denver has looked at times this year, it feels like the other shoes to drop. Now, on the other side of that, if Denver puts it together this week, because that Oakland secondary really has not been super impressive, if Peyton puts it together and has a Peyton game, he's due for one, so it wouldn't be shocking. But I'm with you. This feels like a trap game. It has trap game written all over it, and I'm not even sure how much of a trap it is. That's the thing. So, but I'm picking Denver out of habit.
Yeah, I like a high-scoring game for some reason, kind of out of nowhere. It's divisional. Sometimes you can, throw defense and defensive stats out the window for some of these divisional conferences, and likewise offense. Sometimes they're closer than you think. But I just going with my feeling. Denver should win. They're probably the better team right now.
Yeah.
But not sold on Peyton Manning. The defense gives up a lot of passing yards. I'm not sure they give up a lot of receiving touchdowns. The running backs in Denver are just killing me. You know, I have a money league where I was excited at the beginning of the season. I have C.J. Anderson and Jeremy Hill. I want to shoot myself in the head. I also have Des Bryant. You know,
It might not be the best fantasy matchup, but they only give up 17.2 points a game, and that's why I'm picking them. So,
who, Denver?
Yeah,
that defense is legit, but
they give up chunks of yards, though. You're not wrong about that.
Yeah, so does Oakland. So does Oakland.
And they give up many more points.
Denver has gotten a lot of opportune turnovers, and
Yes, they have.
the games where that doesn't happen is Manning capable of, you know, doing the drives when you need him if something goes wrong, you know, because Denver could turn it over, Oakland could score, you know, a touchdown or a punt return, something crazy, and then, you know, I haven't seen Peyton Manning down enough to know that he's still got the arm to carry the team, because the running game can't carry this team. I'm probably wrong, I admit it, so I'm going to go with the crazy bango pick. I'm going to pick Oakland.
Yeah, I like the pick. I think it's ballsy. When I look at the numbers here, Oakland gives up 27 points a game. Denver gives up 17. That's a big difference, and I'm just going to go with Denver. It's more out of an habit pick, but like I said, if Oakland wins, it would not shock me in the least. So, should be a fun game.
Yeah, like I said, I'm probably wrong.
I don't know. Who knows?
It's my hero call.
Next, we got the Giants at home against San Francisco. This should be, I don't know. I still can't bring myself to be sold on New York. I just can't. And I can't. Right. It's just 2-2. They've beaten the Redskins and the Bills, and they lost the Cowboys and the Falcons. So it's just, but they lost the Cowboys when the Cowboys still were the Cowboys, you know, at least for most of the game.
And they almost won. And
they played Atlanta really hard too.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I don't like the Giants very much, but I'm picking the Giants here big.
Yeah, because I think we like San Francisco less.
Oh yeah, I can't stand them. I like ODB in this game, unless they all have MRSA. You know, God, that's disgusting. Ugh. Yeah, Daniel Fells in the hospital with MRSA. You gotta hate when you hear that shit.
Yeah, who gets MRSA?
NFL locker room.
Apparently. It's weird. The NHL had it with mumps last year, and it's just bizarre.
Yeah, the mumps. That's right. Yeah. I mean, MRSA. That could be like career threatening for that dude. Yeah, that's too bad.
It is too bad.
That could affect your quality of life.
Yes, it can.
So anyway, so I like Larry Donnell in this one a bit, and I like ODB to go bonkers. So I think the Giants big.
Yeah, I'm going to go with New York as well. I'm going to go with I believe in Eli, so I'm going to continue to go with that for the moment because San Francisco's so damn horrible. New York's given up 7. I think they can cover, so it could be a big win for New York.
Yeah. Yep. So, hey, I'm starting Eli over the Buffalo quarterback. You think I'm doing the right thing there?
Yes, you are. Yeah. Taylor has no weapons.
Yeah, but that dude scores a lot of fantasy points, man. He runs around. He makes plays happen somehow. I never know how he does it, but by the end of the game, my fantasy points are there. But I'm going with Eli in this one.
Eli should have a big game. I think Eli's the right choice.
I'm with you.
And finally, we got the Monday night game, San Diego at home. The favorites, remarkably, mainly because of the injuries, against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not the same team as they were without Ben Roethlisberger. That's obvious. But a healthy dose of Le'Veon Bell should keep the game close. I like San Diego a lot, so I'm gonna go with them at home here.
Yeah, I am too. San Diego's defense, especially at home, is a little underrated still. Yeah. Mike Vick's not going to be able to pass very well against San Diego. I'm a little nervous for Brown. Martavis Bryant, by the way, is missing this week. He was actually injured, so they kept him on the suspended list for the allowed 5th week. So Martavis Bryant isn't even playing. So DHB seems to have that connection with. with Vic, interesting. I believe it was with Vic in the preseason where Bryant was allowed to play. Martavis Bryant was allowed to play and absolutely went fucking bonkers with Vic in one of the preseason games. So I was interested to see Martavis Bryant with Vic. I don't know if they had like a practice team connection or what the hell that relationship was about. So I was hoping to see that this week. I was excited to see it, but it's not going to happen this week.
But Antonio Brown, I mean that Antonio Brown and friggin' Le'Veon Bell, that's enough to keep me looking at Pittsburgh. That's enough.
Especially Le'Veon Bell. I mean, he's if you watch him live or actually watch him in the games, he's got this probably the best vision and timing. It's almost like Arian Foster in his prime. He's got this vision and timing. He knows exactly when to stutter, exactly when to cut. Yeah. He really, really looks. He passes the eye test as probably the best NFL back right now. He looks really, 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 really good.
He does.
Which is interesting because his first year out, I didn't think he was going to be this good. But it goes to show you, you give a guy time in a NFL offense, and you never know. That's why. Even if Gurley stutters here and there or has issues, don't count him out next year or the year after. So a lot of people are anointing, as we said earlier, for those that missed it, Gurley as a monster this year. And he might have some bad games, including this week. Sure. We'll see. But
it's his first year back off of a devastating knee injury. You're never 100% back the first year. Next year, Gurley is a second round guy, man, I think, in a lot of fantasy drafts. Next year, that's going to be when you're going to want him. But this year, I don't know. It's still a coin flip at the end of the day. I high upside, but that knee could go any game. That scares me. So.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell's a beast, man. Stevie Johnson will miss this game. Pittsburgh's defense doesn't scare anybody. No. I have to go San Diego. I'm looking for a reason not to, but I don't have one. San Diego.
I'm with you. San Diego Superchargers. Yeah, I like them. I like Phillip Rivers, man. I always have. I always will.
I haven't always liked Phillip Rivers, but
I do. I just like him. I don't know why. I like him personally. Like I'd like to hang out with him. I don't know why.
I like Keenan Allen in this game. I mean, I like him in most games, but I like him this week.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. There's all 16, whatever, how many games. The week 5 is picked. There you go.
Oh, by the way, San Diego has Gates back also.
Oh, Antonio there you go. Nothing like a 107-year-old tight end.
Yeah, but he's had the drugs.
Yeah. I think he'll be fine. I like Antonio. That's another guy I like. I've always liked Gates, but he's old.
Yeah, he's old, but they have that connection, man.
They do. That's true. Like the ball becomes a sentient being and shit. It's crazy. But there you go. There's all games picked. What are you guys looking forward to in your week 5, man? Let me know in the chat. Hit me up on Twitter at @ThatOnDaveV. I'll be live tweeting throughout the game. Going to watch Red Zone. That'll be a lot of fun. Coming up almost directly after this, as soon as I touch bases with Huffman, him and I are going to go live for a little while, and we're going to together talk about the Cubs-Cardinals last night. He wanted to do that. I wasn't able to go live last night because I was sleeping. So we're going to go live and talk about that game. So if you guys want more Dead on Dave, if you can't get enough of Dead on Dave, we're going to go live right after this, and we're going to talk some baseball. So that'll be a lot of fun.
Julio Jones' hamstring is reportedly a tremendous concern to the Falcons.
Uh-oh.
He is active, but according to Adam Schefter, they're very, very concerned. So be careful. You can't bench Julio Jones ever, but maybe in daily leagues you look for a better option.
Yeah. No, that's scary. That dude, he's had injury problems, man, the entire time he's been around.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fred Jackson with the ankle is expected to play Sunday, so with Marshawn out, that might be interesting.
Yeah, 107-year-old running backs don't interest me very much. But I don't know. I just can't get into it. I have a hard time putting my faith in. But he is a talented 34-year-old running back. He is a talented running back.
Right.
So we'll see.
Julius Thomas reportedly to make Jaguars' debut. I'm not sold up. happen, right?
I didn't even know that when I picked them against Tampa. Now I'm even more convinced. Blake Bortles sucks, but he's going to get that ball to Julius Thomas as he plays. Let me tell you.
How do you know they have any? He's been injured though. It's not even like suspension. How do you know he has any like rapport with Blake Bortles?
Ignorance, blind ignorance. I'm
like,
going with blind ignorance and hope.
I wouldn't be surprised if Thomas was in on like pass protection most of the day. I wouldn't start him till you see what they do.
He's 7'9" tall. You just got to get the ball to him over the middle and let him run with it. That's what Peyton did, and hopefully that's what Bortles can do. You don't have to have him on long routes. He's 17 feet tall.
Sammy Watkins' questionable calf is unlikely to play against the Titans.
Yep, he's a non-start. He's hit or miss anyway, even when he is healthy.
Yep.
He's had one nice game this year, I think, and I need to drop. I'm going to drop him soon too. I think. I don't know.
Scott Chandler expected to get more chances in the Patriots offense. They do like that 2 tight end set, so I'm surprised.
He's another big guy too, ain't he?
Yeah. Yep.
He's not
Duke
Gronk
Johnson.
big.
Browns plan to rely more on Duke Johnson. I agree with that. Matt Jones going with the hot running back.
Oh, they're starting Matt Jones?
No, their intention is to go with the hot hand, so you won't know if it's Alfred Morris, Jones, or what's the third guy, Chris Thompson there.
I was able to pick up
Considering
Morris.
they'll probably play from behind, I kind of like the Chris Thompson guy there to be in there most of the second half.
Yeah. I was able to pick up Morris in one of my leagues, and because I didn't have another option, I picked him up.
Yeah, it's a good stash. Alfred Morris kind of gets screwed in the whole, as expected, in the whole Redskins thing in his whole career.
Yeah.
He got screwed with, like, they would always have, like, they'd be on the 1 yard line and for some reason have to have Halou in or have a fullback. Their fullback, like, so Alfred Morris would go for 105 yards and they'd give their fullback 4 1-yard touchdowns.
Yeah,
it's like, wait, screw a guy in his career.
That's Shanahan, man. That was all Shanahan.
It's the fucking worst.
Terrible.
Alfred Morris, like, I hate when people ruin people's like stars primes, and Redskins are just another team.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's pretty bad, and it doesn't seem to matter who's in charge either. It's weird. Any other news that we missed there, Mr. Jim?
I don't know. I wish Alshon Jeffrey would play. It's making me nuts.
Me too.
Like, my season-long fantasy teams are just an absolute mess with poor performance and injuries. Hey, we should talk about, we had this knockdown, drag-out mess in one of our pay leagues this past week. And so you and I went down to the wire, right? So Monday night game comes, and you've got Calvin Johnson in a PPR. You should have this thing sewn up, right?
Yes.
You needed a little over 11 points. You were favored for 15 points from Megatron, and you're like, oh, you could probably do that even against Seattle.
Felt pretty good about it, yeah.
Catch a bunch of shorter passes. So Monday, I watched the whole goddamn game, and I was like hoping I could go to bed and have you win and be up big early so it would be over with. No, doesn't this thing drag till the very end? In the red zone, he catches a goddamn ball for you to go up by 2 points, except as soon as he catches it and he runs a bit, he fumbles into the red zone.
Yep.
End zone, excuse me, and then it goes out the back, as we're all, very familiar with now.
It's punched out the back.
It got punched out the back, which it probably would have gone out the back anyway, which is the funny part. So that doesn't get called, and so Detroit loses the game, and you lose 2 points for a Megatron fumble, thus putting you less than a point under me, giving me the win.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yes, so don't I go to check Thursday because I had some shares in the Thursday game, and I go to check on things, and you've won last week. Motherfucking Yahoo! Did they go rogue and take the fumble away because of the controversy or whatnot? And nope, they didn't take Megatron's fumble away. They took Latavius Murray's fumble away and gave you 2 points back, thus giving you the win and leaving me 0-4.
Do you want to know the best part of this? The best part, do you want to know what it is? This is great.
What?
You just informed me that I won last week. I had no idea. I had no idea. I
You
spent
beat,
this entire week being pissed off.
you beat me by less than 2 points because you got a fumble taken away from Latavius Murray.
Oh, that's too
True
funny.
story. So you didn't deserve to lose.
No.
Because if the refs had called it right, then Megatron would have had a fumble, but not a fumble loss.
Yes.
So you would have had 2 points there. You would have won anyway.
So
you get screwed by the
out,
NFL only to get it back on a different player's fumble.
That feels like karma, doesn't it?
Yeah, so you won. You're one of those assholes that everybody hates that wins by stat correction 4 days later.
Yay! I did not know I won that game. I swear to God, you just informed me. I went through this entire week not knowing. Because you guys write so much in the chat. You guys write a lot in the chat that I don't read most of it. So.
Yeah, not so much in that one, but yeah, we're mouthy motherfuckers.
I had no idea. No idea.
I was. I started that. I'm at 0-4, and I started that league so promising. I had Des Bryant, Antonio Brown, C.J. Anderson, and Arian Foster in the wings, and I also had Martavius and a few other players, Stevie Johnson, some role players.
Yeah.
Des Bryant goes down. C.J. Anderson sucks. Big Ben goes down. I end up having to trade Antonio Brown to get pieces to try and get a goddamn win. Yeah. So I end up trading for Emmanuel Sanders. I spun Brown off for Emmanuel Sanders and Jeremy Hill. And then, like, the immediate game after I do that, Hill has, 1 point and gets benched for fumbling. So then I'm like, fuck this. So he's playing against a good defense. So I benched him against you last week, and he has 3 touchdowns on my bench. So, so I can't figure it out.
Can't win for losing, man.
I know. I'm normally very good. I'm 3-1 in the Dead on Dave League, but I'll probably lose this week because I made the mistake of starting Moncrief.
Oh, did you?
In the Andre Johnson coming out party. So Moncrief.
I like to call it the Metamucil game.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Now everybody's going to run and grab Andre Johnson for no reason.
Which is a mistake.
Yep.
But it's funny. I got Bango in our league in our pay league. I got Bango this week, who's been an absolute juggernaut. His lineup's weird. If Julio Jones doesn't play, he's in a lot of trouble because he has not made this move yet. So he has not taken him out. So he's rolling with him.
Well, Julio is active. I would just be concerned that he won't finish.
I'm kind of hoping they get cautious with him, and they're just like.
Facing Julio Jones in a PPR isn't a pretty prospect this year. It's like me I'm facing this week DeAndre Hopkins in a PPR. That's your worst nightmare.
Yeah,
the guy gets 20 targets a game minimal.
It's gonna be interesting, but I think I might be able to pull the upset against Bango this week. I'm 3-1 in our league. If I can beat Bango, that would be huge. That would put me in really good shape there.
Well, you got to beat out Gurley. Whoop-de-doo. We'll see. Josh Lines in the chat asked if Luck plays the next game. I would be shocked if Luck doesn't play against the Patriots in that marquee game Sunday night.
But if he's still having problems, I think you roll with Hasselbeck here. I think with Luck, you got to look, especially with the way that he looked sometimes. I thought he looked weird. That was one of the reasons why I tried to get you Peyton Manning at one point earlier in the season. It's because I know his stats didn't indicate, but there was something that didn't look right about Andrew Luck, and then lo and behold, he goes up on the DL. So I was just like, that's interesting. And I think you kind of be cautious with him here, and I don't know if you rush him back. Play for the second half. You're not in an extremely terribly tough division, so play for the second half with Andrew Luck. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's not what's going to happen. Yeah. It's a big game. Patriots, Colts. If the Colts think they're going to get smoked, which I believe I believe it'll be in the 60s. But if the Colts think they're going to get smoked, maybe they hold Luck out so they have the excuse, if you know what I mean.
Oh, my God. Josh Lyons is trying to say that's why he traded Luck. That is not why you traded Luck.
That's still a bad trade. Although, I've got to tell you, I don't want any part of Sam Bradford. And for a long time, Bradford still, even when Luck was doing bad, Bradford wasn't doing better. The problem I have with that trade now is, like, I knew Brandon Marshall would still be good, and he's been real good.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of wish I still had Brandon Marshall with some of the shit going on my team. But no, I don't regret that. In your league with the heavy quarterback points, I'd much rather have Luck the rest of the way. That's going to be huge for me.
I think so too. Well, I think we've hit just about anything. Anything we missed?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. A good show. Good show.
Thank you. Good show to you.
Thank you.
With, minus the issues in the beginning.
Yeah, I apologize for the beginning. I'm horrible at everything we do, and we got a stark reminder of that, and that's okay. You know why? Because I got badass graphics now, man. We got a graphics upgrade from the new Dead on Dave Productions graphics guru, and I'm very excited to have Sal a part of the team, man. He's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, Sal. We were talking about Daniel Fells, and this is really sad. Ian Rappaport's reporting just now, doctors are fighting to save his foot.
Oh, jeez.
That's fucking brutal.
That is brutal.
Daniel Fells, man. That MRSA. Ugh.
That's sad. Well,
Yeah.
best wishes.
Though Steve Smith's inactive, excuse me. So that's the only other wire stuff.
There you go. Best wishes to him, and best wishes to all of you in the chat, man. Thank you guys for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for keeping the chat lively. And those of you who called in, thank you for that. Sorry I was horrible to you, but that's okay. We'll see you. We'll see you next time. Right here in a few minutes, Jeff and I will be going live, so stick around for that. We're going to talk Cubs Cardinals from last night. And I hope you guys join us for that as well. Jim, thank you as always. You are the man. And we will see you next time right here on Dead on Day Productions. Like, subscribe, and share. And as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. Keep it copious, people. Peace.
Adios.